Now let's understand what science of learning means. So science of learning is basically the science that helps us understand how people learn, what are the ways in which they approach a concept, what are the different steps usually people take to absorb a new idea. So the science of this learning process is called the science of learning. So if you look at the formal definition of science of learning, it says that it is a new interdisciplinary field focusing on understanding based on evidence, how people learn and how can learners learn better. So as we saw, science of learning is referred to as an interdisciplinary field because it has contributions from various other fields of study like education psychology, which is the psychology linked to learning, anthropology, which is also called the science of humanity, that tells us how humans evolve in respect of society and behavior, computer science, applied linguistics, that is the study of solutions of real life problems related to language, cognitive science, that is the study of mind and its processes, and various other fields. So now we can actually look at three of the most important contributing fields of science of learning, that is psychology, computer science and cognitive science, and see what are their contributions or how do they help in understanding science of learning. Let's start with psychology. So psychology tells us how would people approach a particular concept or how will they connect different ideas. It would also tell us what kind of notions would people have about certain concepts. For example, when a child starts learning multiplication, he has this notion that multiplication always increases the value of the numbers. That is, he thinks that the answer will always be greater than the two numbers which are multiplied. But when this child starts learning multiplication in respect to fractions, there is a conflict in his mind. Now his ideas become contradictory to the facts, and that is why he faces problems in understanding multiplication of fractions. So this is where psychology comes into play. The psychology tells us that the student will start believing in something or will generalize a particular notion if he is constantly exposed to it. So in this case, a child generalize the notion that multiplication will always increase a number. The next field we're going to talk about is computer science. Computer science is an upcoming field which has very strong contributions to science of learning. Computer science mainly helps us visualize and explore ideas. For example, it is very difficult to visualize a 3D object on a 2D plane, but with the advent of computer science, it has become very easy to visualize, explore these kind of ideas and concepts. Another importance of computer science is in assessments. So computer science helps us gather a lot of data and also analyze this huge amount of data in different ways in a very minimum possible time. So with computers, we can very easily conduct large span of assessments, surveys, etc. and gather a lot of data in short amount of time and also analyze this huge data precisely. A use of computer science, for example, could be to record some children who are trying to read a passage. After these recordings have been done, through an intelligent program, we can find out what are the common errors or patterns seen in this reading by students. Now we move to the next field, that is cognitive science. Cognitive science, as we discussed, is the science of mind and its processes. Now cognitive science in science of learning helps us to identify what are the possible ways or routes that the mind takes to solve a problem. So basically it tells us what are the different steps that the mind should take to solve a problem and what all other factors will influence it. So suppose a person is solving an algebraic equation, cognitive science will tell us what is the basic model of solving it, that is what are the different steps the person will take to solve this problem. So that is where cognitive science helps us. Now an important characteristic of science of learning that distinguishes it from most of its contributing fields is a research-based methodology. That means science of learning not just describes or discusses ideas and issues, but it also supports them with intelligent research and evidence. So most of the concepts or theories laid down by science of learning will actually be backed by some significant data, experiment, or some research. Now, this statistical experiments and research make science of learning different from most of the other fields.